Hello everyone, it's June the 30th. Alright, finally, after how many days, we got an easy one today. So, as a hint, we are going to go for the tough one. Like I said yesterday, we have to read the hints. No question about it. There's no way I can figure that one out by myself. Alright, maximum units on a truck. You're assigned to put some amount of... Oh, by the way, the current task assigned to me is to understand a Python script of 2,000 lines. Okay, technically 1,950. Yes, after hearing that, I took a deep breath. I don't know if I can ever make that happen, but it's a good challenge. It's a very good challenge. What we're trying to do is hinges on one of the team understands what that almost 2,000 lines do. And I am willing to take on the challenge to break it down. There are lots of functions in it and a lot of side effects. And I'm pretty sure those 2,000 lines were written by one person. And that guy's actually in the company. Definitely not at his level, the amount of maturity to churn out a code like that while still holding everything in the head. But I'm willing to try. So my plan is to rewrite this entire thing. I think that's the only way for me to understand what everything does. I will move all the functions out. So it's one file with almost 2,000 lines. My goal is to break it down. Each functionality is quite, you can put that in a separate function. So I'm going to put in a separate file. And to break it out of this one giant thing, it's not a trivial thing. It's like solving a puzzle. It's actually exactly like solving a puzzle. But I have one tool that can really help me. And that tool is called testing. So for the past 2 days, I've been setting up the testing suite, testing cases, and building testing cases. For each move I'm doing, I'm building testing cases so that I know making those moves will make things right. But it's a long and hard effort. But I have faith in myself. Okay, that's just something I want to share. Oh, let's go back to the problem. You're assigned to put some amount of boxes onto one truck. You're given a 2D array. Oh, I seem to remember this. Box type I. Number of boxes. Number of units per box is the number of boxes of type I. Number of units is the number of units in each box of type I. Here's given your truck size, which is the maximum number of boxes that can be put on the truck. You can choose any boxes to put on the truck as long as the number of boxes does not exceed truck size. Return the maximum total number of units that can be put on the truck. So truck size is 4, so I can do there's a number of boxes. One box of first type contains 3 units. 2 boxes have 2, 3 boxes 1. And the truck size is 4, so I can take 1 box of here, 2 boxes here, and 1 box of here. Okay. Well, because all these different types, they occupy the same space, so it doesn't really matter. It's all the same. It's all the same. So basically, we want to put the ones with the highest density first. So we need to sort it. Truck size 10, we definitely would put this. We'll put 5 of here, 3 of here, and 2 of this. So it'll be 50. 77 and 91. Okay, so nothing too special in this one. Oh, new month. So we're gonna say box types dot sort key equals lambda tuple 1, second one, and reverse is true. And then we're gonna say rest equals 0 for count and density actually in box types. If truck size is still larger or equal to C, then res plus equal to C times D. Else truck size minus C. Not truck size minus C, just truck size times D. And then return res. Okay, otherwise truck size minus equal to C. Okay. .91. Box types, truck sizes. Maximum this. Okay. I want to run some test cases. I just have some idea. What if it's smaller than? Oh, yeah, the smallest is 1. Cannot go below. Huh. Good. Good test. Find an issue. Should be 3. How come? Oh, I always return this. I might as well just break. Yeah. Return res. Okay. I don't think there's anything that needs to be said about this. I can just move on. $17.10. Okay. hint. Again, I want to recap on this one again. So we know if we have one unique value, then the problem is trivial. And the problem now is if we have multiple values, and I can't find a good way to handle. Like the way I'm looking for is O(n) squared. Therefore, I need to see the hints. Only two distinct characters. Okay. If it has only two distinct characters, so let's just say if we have only A and B, right? A bunch of A's and a bunch of B's. Because I only have two. So I will say two distinct characters. If we have two distinct characters, we'll notify one of them, and no. So one character will be surrounded by the others, or maybe two get surrounded by the others. But still. I'm looking at this, like how would you solve this problem? I would say the best will be if we can find a substring with lots of characters repeating, right? So let's say we get one character, right? And then we find its range. Could be from start to end. It's okay. And then when there's a range, we find how many is the other one. Okay, that's one way to handle it. Because for one character, if we find its full range, right? If we find its full range, and then, because that's the maximum for this character we can have, and then within this full range, if we find a minimum inside this range for the other character. Now the question is, can we reduce this? I mean, yeah, it could be. If we reduce it, yeah, it could have like that. Maybe by doing this, we can find a lower bound. Now, it can screw this. Nope. Keep hinting. Hint number 2. If we replace all occurrences of the first character by +1 and those of the second character by -1, positive variances with only 2 distinct. +1 and -1. I thought about going +1, -1. +1, +1. -1, +1, -1, -1, -1. So we want to find the substring with the absolute value is the biggest, right? That's what we want. So we can say is +1, +1, -1. And then +1, -1, -1, -1. So this one can tell us we want to find the maximum. Well, what are we looking for? We're looking for is that a peak and valley? Hold on. +2, -1, +1, -3. What are we looking for? So if we say we do this, that will be 0. We do this will be 1. We do this will be 2. We do this will be 3. And we do this will be 2. Okay, we're going to say that's like the substring with the largest absolute value. Okay, if we do a prefix sum on this, all right, then we know the variance is just the sum of any range. And if that's the case, the sum of any range, all we need to do to find the maximum or find the minimum. And the sum, and if we do the difference between these two, then we can get a maximum range. Okay, that makes sense. So I know how to do it if there are 2 letters. Okay, so that's for 2 letters. Now we're talking about more letters. How are we going to do with more letters? Well, you can have 26. What's 26? Because the maximum is 26 letters. So we should say 26, choose 2. 325. That's not too bad. Honestly, that's not too bad. 325. So we're saying is we're going to go through all of them. And so once we already go through, it can be recorded. So you don't have to go through it again. Okay, so what are we saying? What are we saying? So we pick any pair of letters. And for each one, we can produce its thing. And then we do what? We do a prefix sum. Let me see this one more time. So we have 1, 1 minus 1, 1. And then we do prefix sums of 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 0, minus 1. And then we find the maximum, find the minimum. So it's actually from this position to the end. It's also 3. Right? No, not this position. It's this position to the end. Yes. That's 3. Or we can do these 3. That's also 3. But this 3 has a condition. And this condition is these 3 are exactly the same. How do we know that? Because now what we're doing is we are going to just give everybody +1 or -1. Right? That's all we're going to give to everyone. Just +1 or -1. How are we going to decide? Everybody's +1. That's how we're going to decide. Everybody is a +1. No question asked. Everybody is +1. And we're just going to put it into an array, right? And then we can arbitrarily pick one as positive, the other was negative. And we'll just go through them one by one. And we will create this. And after we create this, we find the maximum. We find the minimum. And how do we know that it's not 0? How do we know it's not 0? Well, we can always pick the largest and the smallest. The first largest, or now we find the largest, and we find the smallest, right? But then in between, how do I know? Or we put that into consideration, the consecutives into consideration. We use the group by, so we have the consecutives in consideration, like 2 A's followed by 3 B's followed by 1 and whatever, right? And then that will be the thing we're gonna deal with Yes, that's going to be the thing we deal with. Then we're just going to say that's just going to be +2, and then we say 0, 0, 0, whatever, +1, and then the other one, okay. And then with that, if we're talking about so +1 and -1, plus, minus, whatever, right? Whatever. And then if we add them together, and then we can find is the range sum. The range sum needs to have largest absolute value, which means we need to find the minimum value and the largest value. And if we combine the consecutives together, okay, so here is my new proposal. We're gonna use okay. So we're gonna say transformed so for kg in group by s, what we need is a k and a len list g. Okay, so this is the transformed. And then we're gonna say what we're gonna say we can have uniques, and we build that. It's all right. Always gonna be one of this, one of this. So if we have to consider two, it's a one this and one this, one this and one this, one this and one this. It doesn't really matter. But what does matter is which one goes first. Right? That does matter. Or does it? Let me think if it does matter. No, it doesn't matter. The relative position does not matter. I can go AAA, we can't go AAB, right? AAB, ABBB is the same. So like in this one, we have 2A followed by 1B, 1A, and 3B. We can go this, or we can say, because now we have 2A and 1A. That's the A. B is 1B and 3B. We can go 2A, 1B, 1A, 3B. Or we can go 1B, 2A, 3B, and 1A. That's exact. Is that the same? It's a good question if it's the same. Well, I mean, we don't have to. Because if we go in the order of appearance, right? What do you mean the order of appearance? I just need to know the order of appearance. Who goes on first? Okay, I can record. Okay, so what we have is the consecutive counts. Conseg counts, let's call it a default dict of list, right? And then we have an order, let's call it at this. And then we say for letter and count in transformed. Consecutive counts, letter dot append C, right? And if letter is not in consecutive counts, order dot append letter. So now we have the order. We just need to go through all of them, right? Then we just say for I in range, len order. For j in range, I plus 1 to len order. So that's the two that we're trying to do. And now what we're going to do is to build the prefix sum, right? We can say pre-sum equals this, okay? And then we have I and j, which just means we have two letters. And we're just gonna go put the first letter in it, right? So we say this one, get this one, okay? And then next one, I want to get this one, and next one get this one, next one get this one. So maybe what we can do is to zip them. We can zip them, yeah. We can zip them. Let's zip them. And then we're gonna go zip longest, right? Then we have this. So we put this in and then put this in. So what we're gonna do is put this one as 0, okay? Then we say for, let's say A and B in zip longest consecutive counts I, consecutive counts J, okay? And then pre-sum dot append. A is always plus. So I'm going to append pre-sum minus 1 plus A, and I'm going to append pre-sum minus 1 minus B. So once we've done this, of course, if A, we do this. If B, we do this. Once we're done, okay, once we're done, then we just need to find a min and max, right? Then we just say res equal to 0, one from the largest. Then we say res shall equal to the minimum, not the maximum res, and the maximum of pre-sum 1 to the end. So we have to ignore the first one, minus the minimum of pre-sum 1 to the end. And we go through all the pairs. Then we have a res. Try it. First one's not right. Okay, it's fine. Let's take a look. Let's say consecutive counts. I have order. Oh, what happened to order? We have to go this one first. Max is an empty sequence. So if A, B, we have 2, 1, and then so these two are the right. So pre-sum. Let's see what is pre-sum. So pre-sum. Wait, what? Oh, I and J. I and not I and J. That shall be order I and order J. Okay, this one makes sense. I'm pretty sure when we run the actual test case, there could be some edge cases, but oh, we already have like an edge case. This one's not right. Interesting. How? Yeah, because that's 1. And that's -1, right? And what becomes 0? How is it not working? Right, we have +1, then we have -1. And it should be 0. But if we do previous sum, that's 1, 0. Wait, how is this not right? Hold on. I see. Because that's by itself. So it has to be longer than which means if the length is 2, well, we actually say if the length is 1, then it's 0. If the length is 2, then the result has to be that. Right? No. So the length is 2. So we have consecutive something and a consecutive, like I say, let's say if I have plus 3 and I have minus 3. Right? So 1, 2, 3. So A, and B, B, B. Right? We have a bunch of consecutives. Right? And then a bunch of consecutives. One, 1, 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. So build up 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 0. If I find the maximum, if I find the minimum, the result should be 3, but 3 is not right. This only happens with consecutives by themselves, because if I have consecutive, I have another value. And we have consecutive again. No. We see the value cannot be the same as the largest consecutive value. If the largest value is equal to the longest consecutive repeats of a value, then it must be wrong, because the longest consecutive value is the most possible, right? Like if there's nothing more than that, then it's not possible. Because if it is possible with that means we must have something longer than that, but we don't have. So if the largest difference is equal to the largest consecutives, then that cannot be, right? That cannot be. And we need to see if there is another letter. If there is another letter, that should be that one minus 1. If there's no another letter, then that should be 0. Okay. So, what's the proposal? I have a prefix, okay, and then we can find the largest and the smallest, and then we do it. Okay. And after we do it, we have to say if that is so. What can we do? What can we say? Well, we can say the longest. Order I, order J. Okay. And then we do this, blah, blah, blah. And then we need to find the longest. And then we say the max consec is 0, right? And then this one, this, and I say max consec equals to max consec. As well, just get the maximum consecutive. Okay, we can say max consec default it int, and then we say max consecutive letter equals maximum max consecutive letter and C. Okay, so once we're done, and say max possible shall equal to this thing. Right, this is the maximum possible. Now, what do we say now? What we say is if this maximum possible is the maximum possible the maximum possible is equal to that, or it's equal to one of them. Okay, if it's equal to one of them, then we have to say if the other one exists. Now, what do you mean by exist? So, well, it exists unless we only have one value. I want to eliminate that condition first. And how do I do that? And we say if len length of order is equal to 1, which means we will have 1, then we'll return 0 immediately. Otherwise, we say if max position is equal to max consecutive letter I, or max position right, possible is equal to max consecutive, the J, right? If any of them is the same, then we're hitting the consecutive thing. Then we say res equals maximum res, and a max possible must be -1, right? Else, so the max is smaller. Oh, actually no, it's bigger, right? It's bigger than them. If it's bigger than them, that means it cannot be. Then we can use max position. So if we run this, we'll pass this. Oh, and we failed the first one. That's very interesting. How do we fail the first one? Again, if we do consecutive counts, right? And we know it's A and B. So we go A first, and then B. So when we go here, what's the prefix sum? This is the pre-sum. And then we go, the maximum is 2, minimum is 1. Ooh. Minimum is -1. So max possible is 3, right? And the max possible B is 3. So we have consecutive 3. Oh my god. Something, something, and something. So we can put them in, right? And once we put them in, we can still find the maximum. Oh, there's one thing we can do. So if A and not B, if B or not A, so we make sure the output is always one and the other and the other, right? Therefore, if the end product, well, it has to be at least 2, right? It has to be. If end product is 2, then we just pick the longer one, -1, right? If end product is more than 2, then we can pick the small one and pick the big one. It'll always work. It will always work. No, it will not always work. They cannot be consecutives. They cannot be one after the other. So if the largest value and the smallest value are right after the other, then we have a problem. How do we know that? Well, we can sort this thing. Okay. And so we sort this thing, and now we go the smallest, and now we go to the largest. And still no good. Alright, let's see the last hint. I feel I'm close, but still not close enough. Oh yeah, I am doing this. So I think I'm on the right path. It's just this thing, it's not reasoning well. So I have two consecutives, I have one, and I have one, and I have three, right? That's what we have. And what I say is plus something, minus something, plus something, minus something. And then the goal is to find a consecutive piece of this such that its value is maximized. So we can find the minimum and the maximum. That's all fine. Yeah, that's all fine. But the trouble is, how do we tell that the result is not just the consecutives by itself? Well, if we want to do not a consecutive by itself, then when we find the smallest, when we find the largest, what if the smallest and largest is only supposed to consecutives? Then we need to find the second smallest, or maybe the second largest. Yeah, it just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel right. It does not feel right. Let me think again. So if we stand from the first one, I cannot look on the second one. I have to look beyond the second one. Right? Which means if I'm at here, right? I want to find the minimum in front of me, but not this one. Right? The minimum in here. But the minimum in here is because what I want is to find the difference between this and some value in front of me, the minimum or the maximum. Okay, the minimum or maximum. Which means minimum maximum in here, right? The minimum maximum to me is 0. What does that mean? It means just from this to this. I might have it. We run a running min and a running max, and it has to start from the second value. Actually, the third value if you think about the prefix sum. And for each one, the mean is going to be the minimum of the first two, the max of the first two. And then every time we hit a new value, it's going to be, but actually for this one, there's nothing we can do, because for this one, we are going to say, yeah, if it's only 2, right? If it's only 2 values, that means just stretch of something and stretch of the other thing. Then it's just going to be the one of them minus 1, and that's it. Then we have stretch of something, stretch of another thing, stretch of this thing. Then what do we do? Then we say it's going to be Yeah, what if we have stretch of something? Right, just 1 and plus 1 will be 5. Then we say is 0. As these two is 0. Yes. And 5 minus 4. How about 0? Well, we cannot do 0. It will be 5. What if we have a lot of this as well? Then we have this. It should be this one and this. Saying we should still go by plus 1 and minus 1. Oh, I'm gonna stop here. It's can't continue. The capacity drops too much. I still haven't solved this one. 3 days. Even with this, I'll try tomorrow. Try it again tomorrow. Adios.